Well, hello again. Common Sense Carl here for Prime Minister. More on the People's Party of Common Sense, or whatever it is we're going to call it. I ended up last time talking about accountability for the politicians. And just to expound on that, I think we need a program somewhere where, well, let's say we hired a whole whack of young accountants, graduates every year, just, give them a decent paycheck. They're not on the government payroll per se. They're only going to work there for a year. And all the politicians, whether you're a backbencher all the way up to the prime minister, there'll be a little lottery, 30%, maybe 50% of them to start with. When the ball drops and their number gets called up, the little accountant dudes come marching in, and you better have your paperwork together, buddy. Up to date. I had a small business, sole proprietorship. The provincial tax, if I didn't have it filed for the month on the 1st of the next month, I'd get a call literally in person from Ottawa. Scott? Yeah, Sally, I know I haven't filed my PST. If the common man's got to do that, so should these guys. And again, you revolve the crew, the accountants, so there's no bribery, blackmail, cronyism, the corruption that has saturated, permeated, and destroyed the way our government works. There'll be none of that. You hold a seat in Parliament, you work for the people, you're accountable. And when they march in, like I say, you better have it together. So, that keeps them all honest. Now, when we come to big issues, like let's say the gun ban, or a pipeline, immigration, big issues. These hold repercussions for our societal structure years and decades to come. We should have a public referendum, a vote on such matters of monumental consequence. I'll come back to how we structure that in a moment. But what this would do would involve the public. This hopeless apathy we've developed of helplessness is what's brought us to the position we're in, where our governmental process is not working for the masses. So, I'm not saying we rewrite the Constitution, change how the House of Parliament works. No, we still have minority, majority government, this and that. Somebody tables a bill, they hash out the details, it goes back, it gets rewritten, they hash out the details again, they argue about it, and then they say, okay, we're going to vote on this issue of monumental consequence. Again, be it a gun ban, a pipeline or no, do we tool up the tar sands down, big financial considerations. We take this to a public referendum after what's pretty well normal parliamentary process. Now, the public involvement, this will involve us, the people, again. We'll have pride in participation. We'll have more control over what's going on. You think about it now, Trudeau's in for his second 4-year term. He's announced next year he's going to bring in 1.23 million more immigrants. Well, if we say there's 37 point some odd million, we're bringing in 1.2, that's 1 in 37. Pretty big decision. Pretty big financial decision. Big financial decision. We've got a 24% unemployment rate, the COVID, blah, blah, blah. They cost money to bring in. Don't think they don't. No need to argue the details of that. It's a big decision, bringing in 1.23 million on 37.3 million or whatever. That unto itself, big decision, right? You can't say I'm going to bring in 1.23 million for the next 4 years and you don't really have a choice in it because I rammed it through. No, these kind of things need to go to a public vote, to a referendum, a plebiscite, whatever you want to call it. Public involvement, it would involve the people. And what are bigger considerations that we have right now than financial? We're in a bad way. Immigration? Gobs more on top of we don't know how many because they're not answering to it. And the gun ban, big social change. Changes the very structure of our society. Money, the gun ban, you gotta look into that one, don't you? And immigration, huge, affecting our society, not just financially, but changes or holds the potential to change, influence the structure of our society. And again, it comes back to referendums. Why couldn't we have one a month, say? You know what I mean? 12 big issues a year. And again, parliamentary process rotates a la normal. They vote on it, and then we vote on it. And that, the public referendum, we voting on it, it stops and eliminates entirely the cronyism that's happening now. Right now, when the opposition party calls for a vote to kick Trudeau out, as we so desperately need, and the NDP and the Green Party back him. Well, this isn't how our parliamentary process is supposed to work. And public votes, referendums, would stop that. Because ultimately, these decisions of monumental consequence come to the public. So, another party platform from Common Sense Carl and the party of whatever. And don't forget to contribute to the Hair Fund. Take care.